Beats Fit Pro review. The great headphones that Apple just doesn't want to sell you for some reason. Okay, so you know how a while ago Apple released the weird looking AirPods 3rd gen, and you remember how they were slightly more waterproof and that was basically the only meaningful change that Apple made? I remember thinking at the time that the AirPods 3 felt kind of weird. Like, sure, they're doing spatial audio and water resistance, but is that really reason enough to release a brand new generation of AirPods? I don't think so. Also, I remember thinking that it's about time that the regular AirPods lineup got active noise canceling. Fast forward to now, and I'm reviewing the Beats Fit Pro, wondering, why do these exist? And in a weird turn of events, Apple has created an AirPods killer. Because for those of you who don't know, the Beats Fit Pro offer a better set of features. You get all the benefits of it being a native device in the Apple ecosystem, and they cost $10 more than the AirPods 3. Not to mention the fact that they have noise canceling. But let's dig into the details so I can regale you with some of the things I hate about these headphones as well, some things you should know before you buy them, which you should because they're better than the AirPods 3, in my opinion. Starting with the good things. It would appear as though Apple is doing auto switching a little bit better. Just in case you weren't aware, AirPods do this thing where they'll jump between devices depending on which device you're using, and this seemed to work pretty well. Because I had some pairing issues initially, I did try switching back and forth, and my Beats seemed to just know what device I was on, which is great. Very good first impression. The autoplay thing with the Beats is interesting. I don't really love it, to be honest. I'm just going to point out that this is actually a way in which the Beats Fit Pro are different from the AirPods Pro, in that the AirPods Pro will not just like instantly start playing the moment you put them on. And what's frustrating to me about this in the Beats Pro is that you can't turn it off unless you turn off automatic ear detection. So you can stop your earphones from automatically playing if you disable ear detection, but you do then lose the ability to pause automatically when you pull your headphones out of your ears, which is a feature I like, but it's like I can't separate the two things, if that makes any sense. And that is a little frustrating. Sorry, we were talking about the good things. I'm going to get back to that. Something which has surprised me in the brief testing that I did with the Beats is that I noticed the microphone on these is actually noticeably better than the AirPods Pro. It might just be that I've had my AirPods Pro for, a year or two, but it sounds louder and clearer than the AirPods Pro, and that might be valuable to someone. Hi there, my name is Benjamin Butcher. I am sitting next to my office window, and this is the sound of the AirPods Pro. This is what the mic sounds like. It seems fuzzier to me. Hello there. My name is Benjamin Butcher. I'm standing next to my office window, and there is a little traffic outside, but essentially this is what it sounds like when I use the Beats Fit Pro just with a microphone. Next, it's worth noting here that there are lots of good things regarding these, but ultimately, most of the good things that I might talk about with these are also common to the experience of using AirPods, except the stuff that I've mentioned earlier. So if you want more details on the good stuff, do definitely check out Apple's product page, as it is more or less accurate. Sorry, I should have said the Beats product page, not the Apple product page, because as I have alluded to, Apple is really not going out of their way to sell these for some reason. The Apple product page is kind of lackluster. But I'll link to the Beats product page below the like button. Also, I did compare the AirPods Pro noise canceling to the Beats Fit Pro, and I'm going to be honest, I think it's either as good or 99% as good. I think you might be able to notice a difference, but only if you're really listening. Okay, now to the problems. There is a sort of white noise sound. It isn't loud, but I compared this to my AirPods Pro, and there's a definite difference. With the Beats, there's this kind of static sound instead of silence. And when I enabled noise canceling, there's another kind of strange noise. Again, it's very quiet, but it's not like static. It's almost like a very faint, very rapid tapping or ticking. So because I thought the white noise thing might be just a manufacturing defect, I bought another pair of these, and the white noise and the weird extra noises thing is still present, even in the new headphones. So I'm sure an audio expert could explain this to me, but ultimately it does seem to be a consistent problem, and it's something that might bother you. I only really mention it because with my AirPods Pro, I keep them in a lot. Like, I'll keep them in all day or a good portion of the day, and it's nice because they're quiet. Like, they don't make any noise when they're not playing music, and sometimes I just forget I have them in. But with the Beats Fit Pro, one of the drawbacks is that there is kind of this just this like little threshold of sound that you might not want to have. Quick note here that the Beats Fit Pro are actually very comfortable, at least as comfortable as the AirPods Pro, and I can easily wear them all day. And while the white noise thing is a little bit irritating, it isn't like a deal breaker. It wouldn't stop you from being able to do this. Next, let's talk about the button design. So it turns out the stems design was actually a very good one. And that's because it's very difficult to accidentally squeeze a stem, turns out. But with the button design here, basically all you gotta do is just tap the side of the headphones and like a physical tactile button will be pressed. Now, I have at times been adjusting these and I'll be on a phone call with a friend and I've accidentally hung up on my friends every now and again. The button just feels a little too easy to press, and honestly in this case, I feel like the stem design was the way to go, and maybe they should copy it. I'm not sure. There's probably a better way to do this. Next, let's talk about a side-by-side comparison to other headphones. Specifically, I compared these to the M4s, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But first of all, the XM4s have a clarity and depth of sound that the Beats Fit Pro just cannot match. Having said that, the difference here isn't as significant as I thought it would be. When I listened to Black Skinhead on these, I have to say that this is where you can really tell the difference. For high tones, the Beats Fit Pro are actually quite good, but you just can't compare them to the deep, rich bass of the XM4s. If I had the time, I would write a joke here about how it's funny that there's a lot of bass in rap music and the headphones developed by a rapper don't have bass, but I'm already a little bit behind, so I'm going to keep going. Getting back to the XM4s, it's worth noting that it's not really fair to compare these to the Beats Fit Pro because the price difference is so much. Like, it's about $150 more for the XM4s. Having said that, in my books, the XM4s are currently the gold standard for audio quality in true wireless headphones, and I make this comparison not really with the intent of choosing between the two or helping you to choose between the two, but instead in the hope of giving you an idea of where on a scale from 1 to Sony these headphones are. Next, I compared them to the AirPods Pro, and I'm actually surprised at how little difference I'm noticing here. I think AirPods Pro can get a little louder, and I think there's more depth to the sound, but it is so minor that this perceived difference could just be a placebo on my part. Honestly, the noise canceling on these seems to be about the same, and actually I think the AirPods are slightly better, but again, you'd need to listen for the difference. Ultimately, what's weird to me is how natural a successor these feel to the AirPods 2. That is, these are exactly what I expected and wanted Apple to make when they made the AirPods 3, but they didn't. And for some reason, they've shoved this, for the most part, really great product to the back of the shelf in favor of the AirPods 3. Honestly, it's a shame because this is, by almost every metric, better than that. And if you want to replace your AirPods 2, I would strongly recommend these. The Beats Fit Pro are exactly what the AirPods 3 should have been. Okay, that's pretty much it. I'm BRB, and as always, I'll be right back.